Hey, it's Steve Jolly from the Home Buying Skills channel, and on today's show, we're going to talk about how to sell your home fast and top secrets from a proven strategy. Are you ready to get started? Well, let's get to business. Now, the first thing I want to say is this is a case study of something that Gretchen and I did recently. Gretchen Jolly is my wife. She's also a realtor in the greater Nashville area. And we had a client that decided they wanted to sell their home. They wanted to put it on the market immediately and wanted to sell immediately because they wanted to buy another home. Now, originally when we started this process, they weren't going to sell their home, but throughout the process, they decided to sell this home in order to buy another one. And so we had to move quickly. And so we were able to get this home sold in 3 days. From the time they told us they wanted to sell it to the time it was under contract was 3 days. Now, I can't promise you that's going to happen in every market because this was still in a fast-moving market in Nashville, Tennessee, a very popular area for people to move. Now, this is a process we've used time and time again to get homes to the market and to sell them quickly. First thing we need to do is compress a few months of work in just a couple of days. So in order to compress 48 hours worth of work into just a couple of days, we're going to have to be prepared to work hard for the next 48 hours. And your agent should be there side by side working with you to help you get your home ready. Now that's one of the things we're willing to do as agents, and I'm sure not every agent or every realtor out there is willing to do that, but you need to find someone out there that's willing to work with you to get this job done. And then also, once you get set up and ready to show, especially if you're in a super busy market, if you have a very popular home, you might want to plan to leave your home for a couple of days, take a long weekend vacation so that your home is available to show. So it's much easier to keep it show ready over a weekend while you're gone than when it is while you're trying to work out of the home or you're trying to take care of your kids and the family and all those other things that go on through your life. It's much easier to keep the home show ready if you're out of it. So if you can be out of it for a open house, maybe a broker open house, other types of things in the very beginning, that can help the process of selling your home a little bit quicker. Now I'm going to share with you the steps that we did each of the days and how those steps helped, and then how you can apply that to whenever you sell your home. So this is what happened on day number one. So we spent the first 5 hours of day one decluttering and doing some simple staging. We went room by room and removed items that didn't need to be there. We want to make sure the room doesn't look busy, it doesn't look full, because you want the rooms to feel open and as large as possible. And that's why you declutter, and that's why you take excess out of rooms as we're going through the house. We're also, while we're there, going to do a little depersonalization. Now, it's okay to have some pictures and some mementos of your life around the home, but you don't want it everywhere. And here's the reason why, is because the buyer has to be able to picture themselves living in your home in order to be able to pull the trigger to make a purchase, to write an offer and buy your home. If they can't picture themselves living in your home, it's going to be hard for them to make that decision to write that offer. And if they see reminders of you everywhere they look, what they're going to do is they are going to have trouble picturing themselves living in the home. So we want to depersonalize as much as possible and declutter to make it look bigger. We're also, as we go through there, we're trying to make focal points. We want the eyes to gaze on what's important in the room, what's the most important thing in this room, and that's what we want the eyes drawn to. So that's what we're doing as we're going through the rooms. We're decluttering to make them look larger. We're depersonalizing so buyers can see themselves in the room. And we're also creating focal points so the eyes are focused on what we want them to see and not everything else and all the other distractions throughout the house. Also at this time, we're going to be gathering information on your home. We're going to be gathering information on your systems, on the roof, the structure of the home, the age, when it was last renovated, repairs. We're going to come up with a list of all kinds of improvements. We're going to gather information on your HOA, if there is one, and all the important questions that buyers are going to ask through the process. We're going to put that together and package it and make it available to buyers from the very beginning so they can see that we have our act together. We have all the information they want. We're going to make it as easy as possible for them to make that decision to buy the home. because the number one reason people don't make a decision is because there are unanswered questions. So we're going to try to answer all those questions on the front end so they can be extra comfortable about writing that offer on your home. Also on day one, we did a pricing analysis. We did a breakdown of all the homes in the area that sold, why they sold for less than yours, why they sold for more than yours, and to set an appropriate price for your home that's not too high that it's going to make buyers skip it, and not too low where the price is anchored. We are going to try to stretch it just a little bit above what the comps are so you can get the most money for your home. And we're also going to do, by setting up your home properly, we're going to position it in the buyer's eyes that this is the best home possible. That's why we do all the work with the depersonalization and the decluttering and the focal points, so buyers have a picture of their home in your mind that's perfect for them. Also on day one, once we had the pictures taken and once we had them edited, we had all that done in a day for our clients, we launched the MLS listing. And then we started advertising it. Not only advertising in social media and to our network of friends and in the MLS, but we also paid to have that advertised. We paid to have that on Google and on Facebook and across the web so that people who saw that listing could move quickly. Now, we could have just left it in the MLS, but sometimes it can take a day or two for that listing to get to all of the different sites that are out there where people look for homes. We don't want to wait a couple of days to let that happen. We are going to be proactive and make sure that listing gets in front of as many people as possible from day one going forward. And we're going to continue to advertise until that property is sold. We believe that getting the home advertised is the best way to sell it quickly and for more money, and we have statistics to prove that, to back that up. And then the last thing we did on day one is we did more cleaning. We cleaned enough to get the pictures made. Now, pictures don't always show dirt and grime and areas that are dusty, but when your buyers come walking through the house, we have to make sure that they don't see any of that either. So we spent the rest of the time deep cleaning the home to make sure that it sparkled everywhere the buyers looked. That is so important for the buyer's first impression as they walk through the home. If they see something that's hidden or they see something that's dirty, the first thing in their mind they're going to think is, okay, what else is wrong? What else hasn't been maintained? What else hasn't been taken care of? You don't want those thoughts in your buyer's mind, and that's why we go through all these extra steps on the front end to make sure the buyer has the best view possible of you and your home. Day two, the home is on the market. Here's what we did. Well, one of the first things we did was we broadcast this listing to thousands of agents and thousands of buyers that are actively looking in Nashville that's in our database. So we sent out an email to almost 5,000 folks that were looking for property in Middle Tennessee. And so that property went out and got in their hands much faster than it would have through traditional means. So that's additional ways that we advertise to make sure your property gets in the right hands as quickly as possible. And not only in the right hands, but it gets in the hands of people that are actively looking to buy or sell. It doesn't matter if it gets into your neighbor's hands or somebody down the street who's interested in real estate but not ready to purchase. We want to get it in the hands of action takers, and that's what paid advertising really does for you. Also on day two, we're going to create additional social media ads and additional ads that'll be going out to print electronically across the web. We want to get as much advertising out there as possible, especially in the beginning, right up front, while the home is fresh on the market. Because that's the way we're going to attract the most people and the most attention to your property. The more attention it has, the more competition you have. The more competition you have, the better price you're going to get for your home. Because I took the photography on day one and we don't know it's going to sell right away, we weren't able to schedule our regular photographer on day one. So we scheduled them on day two. So even though we had taken photos and had them edited, we also had professional photos done on day two. Now, if we would have been able to have that done on day one, we would have, but we couldn't. So we had professionals done on day two based on the photographer's schedule. So after the professional photos were made, we opened up the home for showings. So that was the second thing that we did. Is day one, we had started advertising. Day two, we are already having showings. So we're moving really quickly through this process. We actually had people come through the home on day two. We had quite a bit of traffic. Part of that was due to our advertising. Part of that was due to the market conditions here in Nashville, Tennessee. They may be a little bit different in your area, but still these same steps are going to lead up to sell your home as fast as possible in your particular market. Also on day 2, we spent time responding to those buyers that had showed the property and answering any questions that they might have, because we know that unanswered questions are the biggest reason buyers say no, or they say hold on and they say wait. So we want to avoid all that, and we want to make sure that buyers have answers to all their questions so they can feel comfortable writing an offer right away. Now on day number 2, we were very fortunate to have received more than one offer. We immediately submitted those to the seller. The seller decided to set a deadline to let all the other potential buyers know that we'd received multiple offers, and asked them to submit their offer if they wanted to by the deadline, which we set actually on day number 3. And here's what happened on day number 3. Well, the first thing, we had more showings, and we definitely allowed them, and we encouraged those buyers to submit an offer. We were there to answer all those questions. We let them know what the deadline was, and we were very upfront so that they knew what they had to do if they wanted to write an offer on this home. Because we had so many showings set up for day number 3, we just asked the sellers to vacate the premises for the day, and so that we could get the maximum number of buyers through the home, so we could get the maximum number of offers for their home and get the best price possible. So that's what we had to do on this home. You may not have to do that on your home if the market isn't as busy as it was here just a few months ago. But that's something you want to consider, especially if you have a lot of showings and you have an offer deadline. We also on day 3 networked with all the other agents in the area, agents that normally sell property in this area. So if they had any particular buyers that may be interested in this, they still had an opportunity to get in before the property closed. And then we collected all the offers we received. On this particular home, we received 15 offers, which was amazing. Our clients were blown away. We basically went through all the offers. We summarized them for them. We put them on a spreadsheet, and then we recommended a handful of offers to them. These we expected, based on what the seller had told us previously, that these offers best met what they were looking for in an offer. And then we let the seller decide which of those offers they wanted to accept or counter. And then we proceeded to get that home under contract. And on day number 4, here's what happened. Now you might expect, as a realtor, that Gretchen and I would be at the beach or the golf course celebrating our win. Well, that is not anything close to what we did. We are still here on site working hard for our clients to make sure not only does that offer get accepted, but that all the contingencies are met, and then we get to the closing table. Once you have a home under contract, that's just the start of the toughest part of getting to the closing table, is working through all those contract pieces, negotiating 2 or 3 more times about the appraisal, about the inspection, and getting to that closing table. That's just as important, and we don't take a vacation. We don't take time off during that process. We are there for you to help you through that. Now, here are the top secrets to selling your home fast. The first one is a marketing blitz. You have to get that home in as many people's hands as possible. Not just as many, but as many interested buyers for your home as possible during that first few days the home is on the market. That is going to be what helps get buyers to you immediately that are willing to pull the trigger, and that is what makes your house move fast. Now, if that home doesn't sell in the first couple of days, you continue that advertising through the process until it does. That will speed up the process no matter how long it takes. The second secret is complete dedication. We spent that whole week with our clients, all morning, noon, and night, every day until we got that home under contract and we got some of the contingencies put to bed so they could take a breath and they could relax and feel like that they were comfortably moving to the closing table and comfortably on the way to moving to their new home. So we don't rest until you do. And that last step on selling your home is moving fast all the way through the process. If you want to sell fast, you have to prepare fast, you have to take action fast, and you have to execute fast. And that's what we're here for. That's what we did. We're experts in that, and we know how to do the same thing for you. Thank you for tuning in today's show on selling your home. If you like the show, click the like button to let me know you enjoyed it. And if you have specific questions, leave them below so I can answer them. And finally, subscribe and click the bell so you'll never miss another episode. Thank you so much. Take care and have a great day.